Hey folks, Michael Daniels. Thank you everyone for coming out tonight. I really do appreciate it. I love these things that I've been doing them now for about 4 or 5 weeks, and I learn stuff every single time I do it. So it's more becomes more and more interesting every single time. So I'm sure you're about to go learn some new stuff today, and if you didn't, it'd probably be a refresher for sure, if anything. I'm fortunate enough to be joined today by Kyle, and I'm not going to even
Celeste.
attempt your last name. Salewski. Okay. Thanks. So I just wanted to say, I wanted to, as usual, whenever I start these off, I want to just kind of let everybody know what the top contributors are. A top contributor is someone who helps out in the Google Plus forums, and Googlers recognize us and they give us the opportunity to become top contributors because of what we're doing and helping others. This forum, and I'm going to show you right now, is right here. This is what it looks like when you get there with all the different, it shows you all the different possibilities. And there's even more than this, but these are the ones that are probably the most common to everyone. And I'm going to take off my lower third because I think it's in the way of some of that. There we go. So this is where it is. And I'm going to copy this link at the top, and I will be pasting that over here into the chat box so you guys have it. So this is how you become top contributor, help out, that kind of thing. It's people that, just like you and me, it's just like any one of us, who just like to help out people. Tonight, we're fortunate enough, like I said, to have Kyle on. So Kyle, I'm going to let you take it away. First off, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and then just kind of slide into Hangouts whenever you want, however you want.
All
Go
right. Hi,
for it.
everyone. My name is Cal Salewski. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I've been a TC in the Hangout program for quite a while. And I also am a Google Apps admin for my company. So if I see a lot of problems in the forums and try to help them there, but then I also see a lot of different problems and issues in my work office. And we have hundreds and hundreds of people on Google Apps for Work there using Hangouts. So I get a lot of experience troubleshooting a lot of different things. I definitely use Hangouts in my daily life with friends, with family, but then also at work. I do a lot of video calls. We do a lot of live streaming. We do a lot of group conversations and just one-on-one conversations. So I'm still getting some of the mobile stuff working right now because I want to share my screen on mobile, but I'm also going to walk through some of the stuff on the web. And obviously you guys probably know a lot about Hangouts because you're watching a Hangout right now, but
Yeah,
there
that's
might be some
correct.
things that you might not know. Hangouts is very versatile. It has a lot of different angles because there is the PC version. You can use the website. You can use Hangouts inside of Gmail. You can use the mobile version. You can use the Chrome extension. You can use it on your tablet, your phone. All different avenues. So feel free during my walkthroughs and everything to ask questions and just mention things in the chat if you're curious about anything. But I'm just gonna kind of go and just do a quick overview on every different thing and as best I can. And I'm not gonna deep dive too much. But I'll definitely answer any more complicated questions at the end. And I'll briefly touch on the free consumer version that we're all using right now, just with a basic Google account, and then also the paid for Google Apps version that we use in the enterprise for work, which is now Google Apps for Work has been rebranded to G Suite just in the last 6 weeks. So if you hear G Suite, that's what the new version of Google Apps for Work is called.
Yep. Now, let me ask you real quick, does education and does that also fall under that as well? Education, the other, are they all G Suite now, or how's that work?
Yes, they're all G Suite. So it's G Suite for education, or there's just the G Suite for the enterprise. So yeah,
Great.
they're all under that same umbrella.
Great.
Except the benefit of education is you get it for free, while
There
businesses
you go.
have to pay for it.
Hey, real quick, I want to, Mark Barris wants to throw a shout out to us TCs. TCs are the greatest asset that Google has, in my humble opinion. Users helping users. That's very nice of you to say, Mark. Also, I wanted to, and Richard, thank you for reminding me because I did do this last time. The gear wheel for the viewers. This is for the viewers. For the gear wheel in the bottom right corner of the window of the YouTube, where the YouTube video is or where this broadcast is coming, allows you to select different settings to make the screen clearer. And he's just mentioning that I have done that, and I forgot to mention it this time. But yes, thank you, Richard. All right, Kyle, go for it.
All right. So I'm gonna share my screen here, and actually. Hold on, do I have anything in here? I did have a little slide deck here. I think I pretty much highlighted everything. Yeah, multiple platforms, Mac, Windows, Linux, and then there's also obviously any web browser on those platforms, plus the Hangout Chrome extension, which I personally like a lot, plus your phone and tablet on Android and iOS. They sadly don't have a Hangouts version for Windows Phone. It just wasn't that big of a platform to have the engineering time to develop for Windows, I'm pretty sure. And then obviously BlackBerry is kind of fallen off from current platforms. So Android and iOS are pretty much the only mobile platforms that it is made for. And then chat versus video, also that's a whole nother avenue too. Some people only use Hangouts for chats, and other people love doing video calls like this. So a group chat can have up to 250 users in a single chat, which is kind of crazy. It gets a little noisy, but you can max out at that. Normally, I usually just have anywhere from 2 to 5 people in a group chat, but I know some people that play Ingress a lot and things like that. They have like 100, 200 people in one chat at one time, which is a little nuts. Video calls, for the basic free accounts, you can have up to 10 people, so that's you plus 9 other people. The business version can go up to 25. It used to be 15 users max, and it got bumped up to 25 users a few months ago. And actually, they have the early adopters program right now that you can have up to 50 participants in a business version. And that's soon going to be rolling out to all business users over the next few months. And the cool thing about that is that if you have one business account, you can have a video call with 25 people right now. So the other people don't need to have business accounts. So since I have a business account, I could invite 25 normal users into my video call, and we could all have a face-to-face conversation. So if you are thinking about getting G Suite for your business, if you have a startup or you even work out of your house and have your own business, it's pretty beneficial because you'd only pay for your one user account, and then you'd be able to have big group meetings with a lot of people.
As long as you start it, right?
Yes, as long as you start
your account,
because
or that account starts.
You do need to approve other people joining into the chat.
Right, now,
and the cool thing,
let me just say on that 25 users,
yeah,
only 10 of them are visible at one time. Is that correct?
10 thumbnails are live.
Right. Okay.
The other 15 thumbnails are just their avatar photo.
Do they rotate based on who's using it the most or saying something the most?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
So if you start talking, it will switch to you and that, and then it just shows the 10 most active. And then also the cool thing about the business version is your participants don't need Google accounts. So I'm hoping that this could eventually come to the regular version of Hangouts. But nice. If you want to send a Hangout link to a bunch of customers, they can just click it and they just type in their name, John Doe, Jane Doe, hit join, and they get to join your video call, and they don't even need a Google account.
Very nice.
All right, so I'm going to switch over now to just a regular Chrome window. So over here I have my Chrome window. I'm just at google.com, and whatever this lovely doodle is today, I'm not even going to try to look into what that is. Somebody's 150th birthday. So Hangouts, for a lot of people, they use it from Gmail. But instead of going to Gmail and showing all that, I'm just going to go to the dedicated Hangouts website that launched a little while ago. I think it was early 2016 it launched, maybe end of 2015. They actually have a dedicated Hangouts one. Now you can go to hangouts.google.com up here in the address bar, or you can navigate to it from your little app grid. you'll have a little Hangouts icon there. If you don't see the Hangouts icon there, it might be down under More, and then you can just kind of drag up any icon that you like, and you can kind of rearrange your app grid. So, so I dragged Hangouts right up top because I like to use that a lot. So if we go out to hangouts.google.com, you'll see
real
this
quick,
lovely.
Andrew's asking, he says, Kyle, do those limits apply only to Hangout video calls and also to Hangouts on air? And I think we know the answer, but go ahead.
So on the business version, yeah, you can have up to 25 people in a normal call. Sadly, I can't comment on if it translates over to Hangouts on Air. There are some different options for business users on Hangouts on Air, but I've never had that many people join a Hangout on Air when we do it internally. I can limit it to inside my company, so I can have a Hangout on Air, and normally for regular users, you can make it public or private, or unlisted. I can make mine public, private, unlisted, or anyone inside my company. So that's really nice. But normally when we do Hangouts on Air inside the company, we're usually just broadcasting a speaker in an auditorium to the entire company, so we don't have 20 people jumping in to talk. But it's something that I definitely want to test. So I'm hopefully going to be able to, I'll try to test that in the next week with get a big group of people from work and have them try to join a Hangout on Air internally and see if we can break that 10-person limit. And then I'll try to report back to Michael, and he can post it somewhere.
That'd be great.
So on hangouts.google.com, I signed in, and it shows me my most recent chats. And then you also have easy buttons for starting a video call, starting a phone call, and starting a message. You can click on a current message. So this one is from Michael. And since this is my work account, it does warn that I'm talking to someone outside of my company, but I can just close that. But when you click on a conversation, it just opens up, and you can see you have your history here. You can see that underneath Michael's last message, it said it was 39 minutes ago that he said hello. And I can say, hey, how is it? Whoops. How is it going? And then you can have just a basic chat message like you guys all have done. And I can see that Mike's typing. So when someone is typing, you'll see the 3 little dots next to their avatar. And then Michael is also allowed on his settings to let me see what device he is chatting from. So sometimes you'll see a little computer icon pop up, or if he would be typing on his phone, you'd see a little phone icon pop up. So it's kind of nice that you can see when someone is talking back to you which device they are talking from, so that if you can see that they're typing from a phone, you can be like, oh, maybe I don't want to bother him, I thought he was at his desk, and so on. So yeah, those 3 little green dots show, yep, and then his phone, if you saw it for a split second, popped up there, and I could tell that he was typing from his phone on that one. The nice thing about Hangouts is that it is a persistent chat, just like pretty much every other service out there. So when you do close out of it, I just open it right back up, and I can see that we have all the history there. Yep, and there's the little phone icon down there. You can also attach photos. So you hit the photo button, and you can attach photos. You can upload photos, and you can actually hit up your Google Photos if you have any backed up photos. And then you can even go into different albums. I'm not sure what I all have in there recently, so I'm not going to click on my photos, but you can get the idea. You can also hit emojis to add a whole variety of different emojis in here and add different ones. A nice thing about chatting on the web and chatting on the Hangout extension is that it'll actually auto-complete your emojis. So if I do colon and parenthesis and hit spacebar, it actually converts it to an emoji. Hopefully that'll come to mobile in the near future, but it's not there at the current moment. Up at the top of a chat window, you can close it out, The second one in is that you can pop it out. So if you wanted to pop this message outside into its own window on your desktop, you can do that and then move it around your desktop, and then you can also minimize it to the bottom of the window. There is a video call button right here. So if Mike and I were having a chat conversation and we're like, you know what, we really just need to talk this out face to face, you can click on the video call button to launch a video call. And then there's also a little person symbol with a plus next to it. This is where you can add people to your conversation. Now, one-on-one conversations always stay one-on-one no matter what. So if I hit this button to add someone else to the conversation, like I'm going to add my personal account, and I'm going to hit create group, mine and Michael's one-on-one conversation always stays private between us. So if you bring somebody else into the conversation, they won't see any of this stuff. It actually creates a new conversation, a new
That's
group
good.
conversation.
A lot of people are concerned about security, or that. So that's a good thing that you bring that up.
Yes. So if I do a group conversation here, using my work account, my personal account, and then Michael, it is just a group conversation with us three. So some people do get worried, like you said, when you're on that one-on-one conversation, if you hit that create group, it'll actually create a new group. However, it's a little different once you're in a group. So now we are in a group conversation, and if I hit that little people icon right here, it shows who's inside the group, and you can actually kick people out of the group, but then I can even add someone else. So here I'm going to add Kelly here, and I hit add people, and I just added her to the current group. Since we already had a group created, when you add people, they come into the current group. But one-on-one conversations, you hit add, it creates a new group, if that makes sense.
And anyone can add a person.
Anyone can add somebody, and anyone can remove somebody from a group as well. So now that we have this, it shows up in your conversation list here. And then, hi Kelly, using this for testing. I can see that she is in the conversation and she's typing. And then I can also see that these icons, I can see Michael has only read up until this point. And then my personal account has only read up to this point. And you can see it's faded that my personal account is not in this conversation at this time. But I'm going to jump to another window here. And now my personal account read it, so it lit up and it went down to the bottom of the screen. So you can kind of see who has read so far into a conversation, and if their little avatar at the bottom is lit up, that means they're currently in it, and if it's grayed out, it means they have left the conversation. They've just like clicked away from it or closed it out. So let's say we had a specific topic that we're talking about in this conversation. Right now, the conversation is just named by the people who are in it. Kyle, Michael, Kelly. I'm like, that's not very descriptive. So sometimes you might want to make this, let's say we're talking about user-to-user Hangouts. So when you hit this gear up here, this is how you get into your settings of your account, of this group message. So you hit the little gear cog, and then right at the top it says Hangout name. So you can give this a Hangout name. So we could say user-to-user chat. And then I can hit OK. And now it will change the name to user-to-user chat. It'll give a notification that Kyle renamed the Hangout to user chat. And then over in your chat list, you can easily find it now called user-to-user chat. So that's a little more helpful than just having it say Michael, Kyle, Kelly, because we might have another group with us, the same participants, me, Michael, and Kelly, and it might be talking about where to go to lunch tomorrow. And we might just want to name that one lunchtime chat. So then you can kind of keep your projects and your topics separate if you want to. So
You can
that
use it for different departments, right? Like sales department, that kind of thing.
exactly. So we'll have a group on our team meeting. Then we'll have another group with a lot of the same people called here I have group chat experiments, and then we have different issues that pop up. So yeah, there's a lot of different stuff that you can do.
Okay, nice.
So now I'm going to go back up to that gear cog on this group conversation, and you can either turn notifications on and off just for this group chat. So if there's a really noisy chat, like I said, Ingress has like 100, 200 people in one conversation, you might not want, your screen and your phone blowing up every 2 seconds. So sometimes you might want to turn that off. Also, you could turn off conversation history. So if it's a more of a private chat and you don't want all of your history there, some people do turn off conversation history. I like leaving it on. That's just a personal preference. By default, it is turned on, but I like it because then I can always go back and read what people have talked about, or if there's something important, some instructions that somebody gave me, an address, directions to a place, I always have that saved in my history. Also,
that's good. Or if you're in a different meeting or something, you can always come back and see that conversation that was continuing after you left to go do your meeting.
If I'm on vacation for a day or I get pulled aside on another issue, I know I'm not going to miss anything.
Right.
Now, notifications are just for you. So when you turn off notifications, it's just your notifications. Conversation history is actually for everyone. So if you turn off conversation history, it turns off everyone's conversation history. So sometimes you'll turn it off and somebody else turns it back on. So just the FYI on that.
And that's just not showing it. It's still there. It's just not showing it.
It's still there, but it will disappear after a certain period of time, depending on how often the chat is used. So if I hit conversation history off, obviously I can still see everything here. And if I close it and jump back in, use the user chat, I can still see everything here. But now you can see my my text actually has a dark gray background instead of a lighter gray. It's not that big of a change, but you can see when it has that dark gray, that means conversation history is off. And on mobile, it looks a little different, but on the web, it just looks slightly different. But then if I would close it out,
a lot darker on mobile.
Yeah, on mobile it's a lot darker. So I can still see stuff here, but I'm unsure of what the timing actually is. I don't know if it's 24 hours or a few hours, but you'll go back in and you might not see what this previous history was because you turned conversation history off.
Okay.
Now I'm going to turn that back on there. Also, here's a new feature that got released in the last year, joining by link. So this is really cool. If you
that's my dog. Sorry. They're barking in the background.
Oh, that's all right. If you turn on joining by link, it puts a nice link directly to your Hangout conversation. So when you hit copy link, it copies your clipboard, and then you could go out to and draft a new email, copy it and paste it into like a text message or post it on a discussion board, and you can say, hey everyone, click this link to jump into this Hangout. And it's just a chat conversation, but it's really nice. Instead of hitting this little add button and then hitting add people, this makes me have to find everyone's email, find everyone's proper name, and sometimes if there's a John Smith, man, which John Smith do I pick? I have no idea who the John Smith that wanted to join. This way, when you add joining by link, it's really helpful because then you can just put it in a post or an email and people can join manually to your conversation.
So if you have a new, absolutely. So if you have a group email for let's say it's the training department and you have a group email and you have a new person that comes in, you could actually give this link so it adds them to everybody's. Is that right?
Say that one more time. It adds.
Okay, so if I have a group email and this new person comes on and I include them in that email, then I say, here's the link to the chat box, the chat that we use. It would then when they click on it and come in, they are automatically in that group
Correct.
with everybody else.
Yep, they will automatically jump in, and then we can.
That is much better since we can't do group circles.
Yeah. Yes. So that I could just paste it to Michael here, and then he could forward that on to other people. And if anybody types up this gibberish really quick, you will jump into our group conversation if you're watching. Feel free. But yeah, it's really helpful when you have a joining by link turned on.
I like that. Now this is that feature is for anyone. It's not just work, right? I mean,
correct,
we're working with a normal. Yep. Okay. Good. I just want to make sure
that is for anyone. Also, underneath the gear cog, so underneath joining by link, there is archive conversation and then leave conversation. Now, these are two different buttons here. So archive conversation just takes your current conversation that's in your list and it just hides it. It archives it. Just like if you archive an email, it doesn't actually delete it. It just puts it like in the background. So if I would archive it right now, it took it out of my list until somebody says a message in it again. So if I say hello again from my other account, boom, it pops back up into my list. So if you want to keep your conversation list all nice and clean and tidy for conversations that aren't being used, you might not always want to you don't want to leave the conversation, because then if somebody responds to you, you're never going to see it because you had left the room. But if you just want to get it out of your list, if maybe this conversation is only used once a month or once a week for a weekly meeting, you might want to archive it. And then when somebody talks back, it pops back into your list. Now,
where do you find archives?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. What if you archived it and so let's say I archived it and I was like, oh, I didn't mean to archive it. How do I get that back? It's not here. So to get it back, you can hit your 3 lines menu right here or the 3-dot menu. It kind of does the same thing. And then you can go down to settings. And this is the same as in the Hangout extension and on the app. And then you have a whole bunch of options here, but right down here it'll say archived Hangouts. And then when you click on that, it gives you your full list of archived Hangouts. And then there's my user-to-user chat. I'll click it. And then I think I can just hit the X here. Oh, nope. So it didn't bring it out of archive, but it just opened it up. So once it's open, you can hit on the gear cog, and then you can hit unarchive conversation. So it's the same place where it was for the archive conversation. And then if I did want to leave, I could leave, and that exits me from this conversation. I will no longer get messages, notifications, anything. I cannot join back unless I get invited back, or if there's joining by link enabled, you can click the link again to get back in.
Gotcha.
But if joining by link
out here
turned off, it won't let you back in without being invited by somebody else.
Right. Quick question. I'm going to jump over to this real quick. This is by internetmedicine.com. Seems like a joined to link might be good for asking questions during a presentation, right? This is not a live presentation like what we're doing right now. But unless you interpret that different than I do.
Are you asking me or asking the user there?
I'm asking the user for the most part, but maybe you can help if you interpret it.
I think I get what they're saying. So if you could make a join by link, and then you could just call this, we could call this Q&A Hangout, and then you hit join by link, and then you could paste that link into your notification post, or you could on your YouTube broadcast or whatever you want, so that if you didn't want people to chat on YouTube, or you didn't want people emailing in, if they didn't have an avenue like you do here with user-to-user Hangouts, we have this combined chat, which is really nice. If you are using a platform that you might not have that, yeah, this would be great. You can just send out a link and say, hey, pop into this while you're watching the video and ask questions live, and everyone can kind of talk. So yeah, that could be an option.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. This video call button up here, I did want to mention, it will immediately call everyone that is in your group conversation. So just know that as a word of warning.
Courtesy,
yeah, if you accidentally click it, there is no "Would you like to start a video call" or anything like that. It just kicks it right off, and you will start video calling everyone. So that be cautious of that when you're in a big group conversation of like 15, 20 people. What else? You can add images of this, like I said, and it does also support animated GIFs. So it doesn't support uploading any files in Hangouts. So you can't upload a PowerPoint, you can't send an audio clip or anything like that, but you can add images and animated GIFs, and you can actually upload videos. Videos do take a little bit of time depending on your bandwidth to send a video as an attachment, but it is doable. And now you could only do it on the PC, on the web version before, but now you're able to do it on mobile as well.
Nice.
All right. So that's pretty much just the chat in a nutshell here. Also, if you don't want to open up a message to leave it or archive it, when you hover over it on hangouts.google.com, there's a little 3 lines at the end of the message. You can click on this to archive or leave, or you can even right-click right on your message and you can hit archive or leave. And
I love that. I just learned that recently. I thought that was awesome. Yes. Now you have either got that workaround for the tabs to, the messages to come up in the bottom right, because everybody has the new one or whatever.
Well, okay, so if you don't have any Chrome extension installed and you're just using hangouts.google.com, it will automatically just pop up at the bottom of your screen here. So if you're using Internet Explorer or Firefox, it will always just be inside of this this screen right here, and you can adjust.
Okay.
And you can pop it out here. Oops. I don't know if you can, you probably can't see that. So I accidentally popped it out, but now I'll bring it back in. So that's just there. Now I'm going to show you the Chrome extension. So it doesn't work in Firefox or IE, but it does work in Chrome, and it's pretty beneficial, because if I have a new tab open or something, and Michael messages me, I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to get any notification because I'm not on hangouts.google.com. So in order to get all your messages, you need to have this tab open all the time, which isn't ideal for a lot of people. They don't want to have to always be on this web page. So a way to circumvent that is if you are in Google Chrome and you open up a new tab page, you should have an apps icon right in the top left corner. So I'm going to click on show apps right here. And then it has, you might have some variety of different apps here. I've loaded some of these and some came pre-installed, but then there's always an app for the web store. And then you can click on web store. You can also go to chrome.google.com/web store and it'll take you right there. So once you're in the web store, this has a whole bunch of extensions and different apps that you can do, add to Chrome. Anything from quick create Google Drive files, to adding Google Keep, to adding a password manager like LastPass or Pinterest, a whole bunch of different stuff. And you can see Hangouts is advertised right on the main screen, but you can also search for Hangouts in the search bar and hit enter, and it will show you that the extension. Now, there are some other results that do pop up when you search for Hangouts. Just be careful. And you want to get the one that is from the Hangouts team here. This one is one-click Google Hangout. It is a helpful extension, but it's made by oneclickhangout.com. Then there's also Common Hangouts. I'm not sure what that is, but you want to click on this one with this icon, and when you click on it, it'll say offered by the Hangouts team. And then even if you click on Hangouts team, it takes you right to hangouts.google.com. So you know that is the legit one. And then you can also see right here, it says by Google. So you want to be able, you want to be able to trust the one developed by Google. So once you're there in Chrome, you can hit add to Chrome. and it says add Google Hangouts. So you can hit add extension. And now it says checking, and then it says added to Chrome. And now I can close out of that, and I can even close out of this window, and I'll actually just go right back to just the Google search page. So now that that has been added, you'll see a green little chat bubble right up here, and it even shows you your unread count. I have some archived conversations that that I haven't read yet. But when you click on this button, it will actually launch your Hangout window. So I'm actually going to switch over to that right now since it popped up into, hi everyone, another window. So now I'm sharing this window. So this popped up as a separate window outside of Chrome, and it still has all of my conversations, but now it's in a full-blown separate window that runs in the background. So when I click on this, it's not just those little tiny chat boxes in the bottom of the window, but it's just you click on each conversation and it pops over to the right-hand side. So I can just say hi here again, and it's really, really handy. And the same thing applies. Everything is pretty much the same. You can add emojis, add your pictures. You can right-click on conversations to archive or delete them. You can hit new conversation, just like on the web, and you can just start searching for somebody and finding them, and then you can click on them and start a chat with them. Now, a cool thing is, I forgot to mention this before, you can start a group chat right from here if you wanted to. So if I click on my circle, my avatar, or my name, it does a direct message right to me. But if I hit new conversation and check the box, I can select multiple people at once and then choose to start a group message or a group video call right off the bat. So I don't need to have anything else started or created. I can just check multiple boxes here and hit video call or message. Now, unless the person is expecting a video call, I would not automatically jump right and do a video call. A lot of people are scared when they don't know a video call is coming and you send them a video call invite. I would highly recommend starting a message first, and then it'll create one here, and you could say, hey everyone, ready for the video call? And then once everyone gets the message, then once everyone is ready for it, then you can click the video call button at the top of the screen and start your video call. But if they are expecting it already, it's 2 p.m. and that's when your meeting starts, you could just jump right into the video call and they'll get notified. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
All right, you can also pop this out. So if you wanted multiple chat messages on screen at once, you can hit this little pop-out bubble. And now, I'm not showing my whole screen because I have a lot of monitors, but
sure.
I will. So once I pop this out, it looks like this. So here is just my individual window that popped out. And I could just have a small little chat conversation inside of this. So it doesn't have your side panel. You can't jump to all your other conversations. It's
I
just
can show mine real quick, just so you can kind of see. I'll show, like right here, what he's talking about is this little, if I'm in this conversation with him, I can hit the arrow up here. And when I hit that arrow, it pops it out as its own separate window.
There you go. So now Michael could now click on my our group conversation on the big window.
Mm-hmm.
So he could be looking at the group conversation, the Kyle one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he could be looking at those, but then also have a dedicated conversation open as well. Because if you don't pop it out, you can only see one conversation at a time.
Right. So you'd have to go from here to here to, you know, whatever, all those different.
Yep. So there are some benefits to the extension. where it's running in the background. You'll get notifications even without being on Hangouts like Google.com. But the downside is you can only look at one conversation at a time. That's why I know some people like Hangouts.google.com, because they can have a whole bunch of messages at the bottom all pop up at once. So with the Hangout extension installed, if you go to hangouts.google.com and you send a message, it'll actually pop up on the extension. So sometimes people are like, oh, like I don't want the extension running anymore because I really want to use Gmail or hangouts.google.com or something like that. So you don't need to uninstall the extension to stop using it. You can actually just hit the 3 lines in the top corner of the extension, and then when you scroll down to the bottom, you can hit exit. And then when you do that, it closes out of the extension. And now I'll go back to just this window. So close out of the extension. So now when I click back onto here, it pops up all my messages individually. But if I wanted to reopen the extension, you just go back up to the top corner of Chrome and you click on the little grayed out chat icon. And when you click it, it will launch your Hangouts separate window, and then it turns green, and then it just popped up your full window again.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that either. I learned something new there. Thank you.
Yep. So so at home, I don't always have my Chrome extension running. It's always installed, but I don't always have it running because sometimes my wife uses my computer and other people use my computer if they're stopping over or something like that. And I don't want my chat messages popping up because Chrome's running in the background. So I'll just hit the 3 lines and hit exit, and then that way they don't start popping up on the screen.
Very nice.
Also, there's some other options in here. This is on the hangouts.google.com and in the extension. But convert text to emoji. So I talked about that when you do a colon and a parenthesis, and it will convert it. But then underneath that, there's use dense roster. This is kind of nice if you have a lot of chat messages. So when you click this, it just pretty much compressed my entire list into just names. So it doesn't show the avatars anymore. It doesn't show you the preview of the message. Like it always shows you one line of a preview message. So dense roster will look like this, but then you can easily tell what's a group conversation or what's a direct message. So here I can see it has the little double person icon, so I know that's a group conversation. And then I can see that this one is a direct message, and I can see that it's green because Michael is online right now with Hangouts. Some of these people are not signed into Hangouts right now, so their little icon is clear.
Blank. Yeah.
Yep, it's blank.
Hey, real quick, we're at the 45-minute mark, so let me just get some questions. That's all right. Let me get some questions answered real quick, and then we'll pop into whatever you have left. I want to keep going because this is very informative, and I want you to get into just showing the other areas like Gmail and stuff like that too. All right. Let me see here. So let me quickly go to. Okay, on this one it is. Michael Thomas, how did you incorporate Hangouts into your bookmarks, Kyle?
All right, so right up top here, I'll share that screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm back in Chrome, and so I think it's talking about this right here, where I have Google Hangouts right there, and then I even have a Hangouts section here. So if I just went on a new tab, I'll actually delete this, but I'll just go to hangouts.google.com, and then this loads, and then you can just grab this little green lock that's right up here in the address bar, and you can just drag it right down into your bookmarks bar, and it just drops it right there, and it's named Google Hangouts. And then you can even right click it and you can edit it if you want. So if you didn't want to say Google Hangouts and you just wanted to shorten it, you could just call it Hangouts and hit save, and now it just says Hangouts. And then sometimes people don't even like all the words in there, so they'll hit edit and they'll just make it blank, and now it's just the icon. So it's just the Hangouts icon. So sometimes I have a lot of different stuff. So let's say I went out to Amazon here, and I'll drag that down into it, but then I don't want Amazon.com :online, all that garbage. So I just delete everything, and now I have a quick little link for Amazon. So sometimes people have like 10, 15, 20 different icons all the way down, and then you can easily, from a new tab page or something, just click on the icon, and it takes you right to Hangouts.
I love that about the dragon, because I have always used the star at the end of the URL.
Yeah, you can do that as well. And then when you click it, you could delete the name and then tell it where to go, bookmarks bar or another place. But yeah, it is nice to use the star too. But yeah, I've just gotten in the habit of just dragging it right down. Yeah. And then you can rearrange them too.
Susan asked, will that Chrome add-in work in Hangouts on Air too? And the answer is no.
No. Once you're in a Hangout on Air, it will show. So when Michael shared his screen, since I'm not in the Hangout on Air for my work account, when he shared it, he showed that he was in a video call with me. So it had the little chat conversation with the little green camera icon. So if he clicks on his extension, it does show over there that Kyle Salewski, that top one, he is in a video call right now, and that is our Hangouts on Air, but you aren't able to start a Hangout on Air or a YouTube live session from the Hangouts extension, or you can't even start one from hangouts.google.com either.
Exactly. Okay, and let's see, Michael Thomas was saying, very cool to know the Hangout about the Hangouts team, so you know you're getting the right one. That's very cool. Let me get to this one. Will the extension work for any account that I am signed into?
Okay, so the Hangout extension works with your Chrome browser. So I might be able to share here. I'm going to try to share my entire screen here. It might get crazy wide because I'm on a crazy resolution. 1 second. So what I actually do, and this I could talk for another hour on this stuff too. What I prefer to do is have a where is it here? I like to do multiple profiles of Chrome. So I have a work profile in Chrome, and then I also have a personal profile in Chrome. So I can actually have them running simultaneously. So I can have two different, I'm just going to add the extension quick to show you guys what it will look like. So let me share my full screen here. You're going to see a whole bunch of craziness. Okay, so here's my big full screen. Okay, all right, so here I have, so here if I go to Google.com, so up top here you can see it says Kyle, and I am signed in under my personal account, and then I can switch over to my work account, which is this browser. Now it's different than just clicking here and hitting adding account. That's adding account inside the browser. Here I actually made two different work accounts. So when you hit switch person right up there by that minimize button in Chrome, you can add a person. So I have my account, I have my wife's Chrome profile, and then my work account. So this is nice because you can have different extensions, different bookmarks, different everything per Chrome profile. So I have my profile that has my login, my email, my Amazon account, my Facebook, my Google Plus, all that stuff. But then my wife also has her own Chrome profile down here at the bottom that she loads, and it automatically has her signed into her Gmail, her Amazon, her Facebook, her everything. It's really, really handy so that you don't have to sign out of my account, sign into her account, sign out of her account, sign into mine account, etc. And the same thing works for the extension. So I loaded the Hangouts extension on my personal account, which now loads up here. And I have my, whoops, didn't mean to click that icon. So I have that, and this is under my personal Gmail. But then now if I go over here to my work profile and click this one, this is under my work one. So I have two totally different sets of icons and everything. Now if you don't set up multiple Chrome profiles, you won't be able to have multiple accounts inside the extension.
So to answer a question,
that's not crazy. Hopefully that's not too crazy confusing to understand.
Yeah, but to answer a question is yes, you can put it on all your different profiles as long as you have them.
Yep.
All your different accounts, I guess.
Yeah, create multiple Chrome profiles and then add an extension to each Chrome profile of those multiple accounts.
All right, a quick one from Mark Barris. He says, can you show me again how to use the extension but on demand and not automatically by startup?
Yes. So it will automatically run in the, once you have the extension loaded, so going to the App Store, clicking on Hangouts, and you install it here. So I'm just going to show that it's added. You hit add, it goes up here in the corner. Now it will always run in the background. Even if I close out of this account and then Chrome is closed and then I open back up my work profile, it's still running in the background. But you might not want that to happen. So open up the extension by clicking the button, hit the 3 lines, scroll down to the bottom and hit exit. And now that icon is no longer green and you will not get any more pop-ups on your computer that you have new messages.
Gotcha. And that's where you hit the exit, right? You just go in there and hit exit.
Yep, the 3 lines and then hit exit.
Yeah. Wonder if you can exit from right-clicking it.
No? You cannot, sadly. You used to be able to,
yeah.
and you cannot exit it. You can remove it from Chrome, but you cannot exit. I wish it was still there. And it does run in your system tray too. So I wish I could focus my screen share to just down in that area.
And you can't right click on that either. Yeah, I got it right here. I'll do it and pull it up.
Yeah,
unless you want me to.
You could do that, but you can show way down by the clock. If you hit that little arrow, you can see that little green icon, and that will take you right to the extension. And you can actually drag that green icon down by your other icons if you wanted to kind of place it. You can't put it over there, but yeah, you can put it by the other icons there if you wanted to. So if he lets go right there, it'll just easily be down there for you to just double click and open up the extension. So you don't even need to open Chrome to click on the little icon on the top. You can actually just click it down there if you wanted to.
Nice. I love it. You're welcome, Mark. No problem. He said thanks. And
Andrew, I'm glad that showing you how to delete the names of the bookmarks is going to save you a lot of space in your bookmark bar.
Yes. What else? Do you have anything else? We got about 5 more minutes. If you, I mean, like I said, we can open this to questions. You guys can ask some questions if you want to know more. Listen, we could go on and on. There's a lot of stuff we could cover on Hangouts, Hangouts on Air, Hangouts, all video calls, all different kinds of things. I actually learned a couple of things just from watching you tonight, and we may do it again because there's a lot of stuff. So we might have another one where we cover a little bit more in detail.
Yeah, like this didn't even cover the mobile app and the different things that you can do there with adding shortcuts to your home screen and doing different things like that. This didn't even cover phone calling. Like here, I could just go to add a phone call, and you can call anywhere in the U.S. or Canada for free, and you can call overseas for a very minimal fee. Also, video calling. I can give you a little sneak preview here. On the business side of things, when you click video call, you actually get to name your Hangout, and it takes you to a different screen. If you're on the personal consumer version, when you click video call, it automatically launches a video call. But on the business version, when you click video call, it redirects you to a new page, and then you can enter a Hangout name. So here I could call it whatever. You can't have spaces, so meet with Kyle, and then it automatically adds this to a Hangout link that says meet with Kyle, so it's a little more professional. And then you hit this little arrow, and then it launches your Hangout. So then I can send that link in a calendar invitation, a meeting invitation in the enterprise, in the workplace, and it looks a little more professional, so you can see what the Hangout is actually named. So you could call it monthly meeting or financial discussion or something like that. So that's pretty cool that you can do that on the business side of things.
I love some of the comments. Yep, I'm going to say it again. 1 hour with this guy is absolutely not enough time, Michael. And then we have Patricia out there that says, yes, more please. And then down here, Michael again says, we need these on a weekly basis, my friend. Michael.
Also, yeah, I wanted to show you. I wasn't even sharing my screen on this last part, so I was going to show you the video call thing. So on the business side, when you hit
those that need to go or whatever, that kind of stuff, you guys can go and go. We're going to do an extra 15 minutes only, or however long you want to go, Kyle, because I'm taking your time.
No, I'm fine. If people still want to watch and have questions, yeah.
We're going to go an extra 15 minutes, so we can get into whatever you want to for the next 15 minutes. How's that?
That works.
Go for it. Go for it, Kyle. Now show them what you were talking about.
Yeah, so here on the consumer version, when you hit video call right here, it automatically launches a Hangout. And it launches in the new interface, and it just immediately pops you out to a generic Hangout that you can send a link to somebody. But on the business side, when you click video call, it actually redirects you to a nice, pretty wallpaper page with the time, and then you can enter a Hangout name. And this is where, if you're a business user, you get to name it whatever you want. So I could do like meet with Kyle, and again I said you can't have spaces, so I use dashes. And then when you hit the arrow, it launches you into a new Hangout, but it has a custom link name, so that when you do send it to a customer or a client or something like that, it's not just like, here, join my video Hangout of XYZ 123 whatever. It'll actually say hangouts.google.com / your company / meet with Kyle, so that people know what kind of meeting they're jumping into, which is
nice. Very nice.
Also, there's some things like there's a lot of things in these in settings here that we didn't cover. So you can turn on and off the features to show when you were last seen online. So when you start a new conversation, I can see here this person was on 36 minutes ago. This person was on 5 hours ago, 4 hours ago. This person doesn't have it showing, so they probably turned off the feature that allows me to see when they were last on Hangouts. So I like it as a positive, because people can see, oh, I was on 5 minutes ago. I'm going to message him because I know he was just on. But some people want to respect their privacy a little bit more, so they'll uncheck that to show other users when they were last online. And this is where you can turn on and off the feature that shows what device you're on. So this is where those little icons showed up: phone, tablet, computer, when someone's typing a message. Also, this is a handy feature that we didn't cover. Show when you're on a video or a phone call. So if you would message me right now on the account that I'm on with Michael, we're in a video call right now. When you start typing to me, it'll say a little message before you hit send: Kyle is in a video call right now. So you might not want to interrupt me. Or if I was on a phone call in Hangouts, when you start typing a message to me, it kind of just gives you a warning. You can still send the message, but it just gives you a warning of that, hey, I might not respond because I'm currently on a video call. Also, you can turn off notifications. We covered this earlier on a separate conversation, but you can turn off all notifications here. You can mute them for an hour, 8 hours, or 2 days. And this is nice where, let's say you're going into a meeting, you're going into a job interview, you don't want your phone vibrating because a lot of people are sending you messages. You can just say, hey, mute notifications for 1 hour, and now I won't get any notifications. My phone isn't going to vibrate. The messages will still come in. So if Michael would message me in a convo right now, it'll still turn bold, and you'll still see that you have a new message, but it's not going to give you that notification. It didn't pop up on my screen as you see here. Normally it would pop up with a big window over here on the right hand side. It didn't do that. It just turned bold. But now let's say my meeting got over early. I don't need to mute for that whole hour. I can hit resume. And now if he would send me a new message, boom, it just pops up right on the screen, back to normal.
I meant, are you done now with your meeting? I did not mean right. Okay, let's see. It says, what does Michael say? I can access these settings in my Gmail page. Also, Kyle and Michael.
Yes, let me just verify that. So in Gmail, on the side panel, you'll have Hangouts loaded by default. So what you have to do is actually hit your little name with the drop down, and then you'll see all those same options there. Now, I don't have Gmail on my work account, so
like
I can't
this.
show you.
How about this?
That.
There you go. How about this?
There you go. So now, if Michael clicks on his name over there, so he clicks on his name with the little caret next to it. So hit that little caret, and it opens up the settings page. So this is almost identical of what you'll see on Hangouts.google.com. So this is where you can mute notifications. You can use dense roster. You can get to your archived Hangouts. You can, at the top is where you can show when you were last seen online, show what devices you're on. Now, at the very top, it does say share your status. We never covered that really. It's kind of a goofy thing. You only see the statuses is when you are inviting someone to a chat. So if Michael put a status in there, when I'm inviting him to a new chat is the only time I'm ever going to see his status. So it's kind of, I wish you'd see it in other places. I never see it when I'm currently in a conversation with him. I never see it anywhere else. It's only when I'm starting a new chat with Michael, you'll see the status of whatever he puts up there.
There you go. Let's go right to, let me go to this. It's Richard saying, does it work in inbox versus Gmail? It's a good question.
It does not. There is not a Hangouts chat section in
right.
oh, I'm sorry. There's not the bar. It is up at the top of inbox. So it's in its own separate drop down in inbox. So up at the top corner, on the top right corner of your screen, you'll have your profile photo, you'll have your notifications, you'll have your app grid, then there'll be another icon right to the left of your app grid that's a Hangouts icon, and it'll show you your messages there.
Right, got it.
But when you click on them, so let's say you would, let me test this out here. Yeah, so when you click on them, they just pop up as little messages at the bottom of the screen, similar to this. But if you have the extension installed, it redirects it to the extension.
All right, let's see what Mark says. Mark said something. He says, I hope you do a follow-up part 2 to this because there's so much more information I'm sure I could learn from you gentlemen. Well, we might do that for sure then.
Yeah, I could talk so much on this. And
yes.
The new Hangouts interface for video calling, we haven't touched on that at all. Pretty much, we haven't really touched on much of any video calling inside of what a Hangout looks like, because the new one-on-one video calling and even group video calling has a different interface than the Hangout on Air interface, where you can't add apps, you can't do anything. You can pretty much, they did bring chat back, and you can screen share, but that's about all you can do in the new video interface. If you do want to use the old interface without having to do a Hangouts on Air, that you just like the old interface, if you want to make a phone call in a Hangout conversation. So if me and Mike were doing a video call and we wanted to call our friend and get them on the phone, you can do that right in the Hangout, but you can't do that from the new interface. So in order to use the old interface, you have to go to g.co, so g.co/hangouts, and it'll automatically load the old interface for you. And then you could have a video call with a few people, but still add phone participants into that call as well.
I think you can, and can you while in there you can go to the old version, can you not?
No, if you start it from the new, if you are in the new interface, they got rid of the feature to switch back to the old version.
Oh,
You have to use g.co/hangouts to get there.
Oh, I'm glad you told me that. Oh no, I haven't. It says old version.
Oh, really? Did they bring that back? It was
Well, I don't
gone
know,
for
but
a
it
while.
says no. Okay, it doesn't work.
Ah,
I
that
mean,
could
it
be.
does have go back to the old version, but it doesn't take you there. So
Yeah, I think that's maybe what I'm thinking of then.
okay, I did not realize that they took that away. Okay, very interesting. Thank you for that.
Awesome.
That stinks though, because I always switched over to the older version.
Yeah, I like the older version.
Well,
It's
just because you can add lower thirds and you can do
Yep.
different, you can do those kind of things that just make it a little bit more
Yeah, the business version,
business. Yeah.
the business
Yep.
version does not have the new interface at all.
Oh,
They are
nice.
strictly on the old interface, just because a lot of business users and enterprise users call people in.
Oh,
So
nice.
we'll be doing a video call and we need to call a conference call number, or we need to call someone at a different company. So until they add that to the new interface, I don't think the old interface is going away for business users.
Nice. Well, that's a good thing, in my opinion. All right,
Yeah.
Thomas says here, what does he say? Yes, sir. Gmail will filter out any kind of spam or platforms. I'm not interested. There you go.
Yeah, that's why he likes Gmail for the spam filtering.
Yep. Yep, I agree.
Awesome.
Yep, good stuff.
Going back to creating a group conversation with join by a link. So on the web, on Gmail, on the extension, when you create a group conversation, you need to actually start with another person. You need to at least have a group of 2 or more people, and then you can name it and then click on the join by link. But the cool thing is on mobile, I'm hoping this comes to desktop. On mobile, you can actually create an empty group and name it and then copy a link to it. So it would be really good for Q&A sessions and stuff like that, or you need to send out a link to your group chat. You don't need to start off by inviting people on the web. You can just go to your mobile device, hit new group, name it, but don't invite anyone, and just copy the link and then paste it into an email and then email all your participants, and then they can jump into it. So we use that heavily at work, which is really nice. So I don't need to automatically invite someone right off the bat. I can allow them to join themselves at their leisure.
Nice. That's great. I like it. Anybody else have anything for this show? I think we're going to wrap up here in just a couple seconds. Just wanted to, anybody have any last minute questions? It's usually about a 30-second, 40-second delay. So we'll just wait and see if anybody has anything else. Okay, now he's talking about Google. Roland's talking about Google Plus. He said, Google Plus just let me revert back to Classic. Yeah, I know they did, but Hangouts won't.
Business users cannot revert back to Classic anymore for Google Plus, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
All G Suite users are forced in a new version. They cannot go back to the old version.
Got you. I'm all new now anyway. I just threw in the towel and just said, okay.
Yeah, do they support photospheres yet on the new version? I'm still waiting for that to come back. I love photospheres.
Support photos.
The photospheres, the 360 degree.
Oh, you know what? I don't know.
Look around.
Yeah, I don't know. Not real sure. I'll have to test that out. I'll see if I can help you out there. Yeah, just so everybody knows out there too, Kyle and I met out in San Francisco the last two meetings that we had, and
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, he helped me out with photos and all kinds of stuff, so he knows a lot about the Google product. So I was so glad when he said yes, he would come in and do this, and I appreciate you really taking your time out to do this kind of thing too.
Yeah, not a problem. I wish I would have actually been a little more prepared. I felt like I was kind of bouncing off the walls a little bit. But next time I'll try to have more of an agenda and a structure, and I could even share some notes and stuff on like what we're going through, and some like helpful links and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be great, and we can gear into some of the things that we not cover, just maybe a recap of what we covered tonight, but then head into some of the other stuff too, because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, there's so much. Like I could talk for an hour on each portion of Hangouts, from the video to the mobile to desktop to everything, and then not to mention all the other products that I help out in, from photos to Gmail to everything else.
That's wonderful. Well, again, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. We'll definitely do this again. As soon as I end the broadcast, we'll talk a little bit in the green room afterward. And if anybody wants to come into the green room, if Kyle can stick around, he'll if you guys want to come in, I'll invite, as long as you're on Google Plus here, which it looks like every one of you are, because I'm looking at your icons, it has a little G there. So if you want to come in, you're welcome to come in.
Also, if anybody wants to ping me with any questions or follow me or anything, if you just do a Google search, you can search for Kyle space Google, and it should be my Google profile should be the top one that shows up. Otherwise, you can go to google.com/plus Kyle Salewski, which is KYLESALEWSKI. But yeah, if you just search Kyle space Google, my profile should be one of the top hits.
I put your Google Plus profile
Awesome.
right there too, so that way they can contact you that way too, or that way they know who they're getting as far as that goes. Listen, I really do appreciate it. I really do, and thanks so much. And folks, listen, the top contributors, they're people just like us. They're not paid by Google. Top contributors are wonderful. They're very knowledgeable in their product, and they help people on the forums with this kind of stuff. And if any of you ever want to become a top contributor, you have some free time, get in there in the forums and just start answering some questions and help people out. You can help them out with some of this stuff for basic beginners. And that's what the forums is all about. That's how we got involved in it. It's really, really neat. And they send us out once a year, basically, to go out and meet people like each other. That's how we've met. So yeah, anytime. And Kyle, I promise you, within a month or so, we'll probably have you on again at some point. Maybe not around Christmas, maybe a little bit after that.
This is fine. But yeah, it is a little busy this time of the year, and I just bought a house, and we'll be moving here shortly. So I gotta start packing.
I'll do it right in the middle of the move, so you have to do everything over Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Thanks again. And folks, thanks everybody for coming, and please share this out. If you know some people that would want to benefit from this Hangout, my collection, I have a collection that I'm collecting all these from the top contributors. Feel free to join that collection, so that way you get invites from that collection, etc. Next week, we have Peggy K, who's going to be doing Google Plus. So I think a lot of people will be interested in that one. So that'll be a lot of fun going over the new Google Plus and everything. So Kyle, once again, thanks again, and we'll talk at you folks later.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
And we are hopefully